Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecotman12.blogspot.com and welcome to my HTC One versus HTC One Mini versus the Nexus 4. In this video we're going to have a crazy kind of comparison and see which phone ends up on top. The Nexus phone, which have proved to be one of the smoothest versions of Android you can get, or one of the HTC One mobile phones. In this video we're going to find out. Let's get to it. Okay, now the HTC One and One Mini I've actually done a comparison video of before. They both have great specs, and especially the HTC One has come on top of the HTC One Mini, which is to be expected, but both of these phones are very, very capable. And now we're going to actually compare it to the most responsive mobile phone out of all of them, which is the Nexus phones. Now, as you can see, the Nexus device incredibly smooth. It's like there's no lag whatsoever. Now, I've been experiencing that with the One and One Mini as well, next to no lag. But phones like the Samsung Galaxy S do tend to have quite a lot of lag, even the Sony phones. So I'd say that the HTC mobile phones are the closest to actually getting a Nexus-like experience. Now, here we're going to see which one launches apps faster. So, let's first start off with the screens. Now, the HTC One has got a 1920 by 1080 resolution screen, that's 1080p, and that is 469 pixels per inch, and it's using Super LCD 3 technology. And the One Mini has got a 720p screen running at a resolution of 1280 by 720, and it's got a 342 ppi Super LCD 2, and the Nexus 7 has got a 1280 by 720 display at 720p as well. And this phone has been out for almost a year, and as you can see, it's still running very smooth. And comparing it next to the two, you can notice that the screen of the Nexus does look a bit more, I'd say, warmer on the colours, even compared to the One Mini. It's like you can see the best screen, then the next screen on, the next screen on. Well, I'd say these two are very close. And one thing I'll just say is that the speaker on the LG Nexus 4 is at the back, whereas these two mobile phones have the speakers both on the front and the stereo boom sound speakers. Now, what we're actually going to do is first start off by doing some speed tests. Now, what I'm actually going to do is go to the screen over here. And yes, that is an indication of what I will be doing later on in the video. And let's see if I can tap all these at the same time. So, 1, 2, 3, go. And this is the first time it's launching on the Nexus 4. And I'd say pretty even with these two devices, whereas it just got the edge on the One. Now, let's run all these at the same time. Again, 1, 2, 3, go. So I'll let go at the same time, and we'll see which one ends on top. Seems like the One is already going through the benchmark process. The Nexus 4 seems to be going ahead, a little bit ahead of the One Mini, and the One is still already going through all these benchmark tests. And the One Mini is the last one to get to the actual benchmark. Let's see, on the One you're getting about 60 frames per second. On the One Mini you're getting around about 60 frames per second, 44 frames per second, and on the Nexus 4 you're getting fluctuating from 60 frames per second and 44 frames per second. And as you can see, they're all doing really still quite decent. Okay, so the One is already done. Let's see which one will be done next. Most presumably the Nexus 4. And it just shows you how much faster the One is. The Nexus 4 is done, this one should be done now. Yes, okay, now let's just get in the results right here. Okay, so wow, this is actually, the One has actually got a faster, a bigger benchmark score than it did in my One versus One Mini video. Now, the One has got a 12,152 result right there. The One Mini has got a 5,882 result right there, and the Nexus 4 has got 4,822. That's quite strange, slightly, that this has got a lower score as opposed to the One Mini, as the Nexus 4 has got a 1.5 GHz quad-core processor, and also this was actually ahead of the One Mini in terms of benchmarks, but that's why I say do not take these benchmarks on spec. They are just there to give you an idea. They're not really there to actually be the proper definitive test. So they all are very capable smartphones, and the Nexus 4 just edges it from the One X. The One X is light years behind the One, and the One X is slightly behind the One Mini. So let's go back to the home screens, and let's again just clear out everything from these right here. Now, as you can see, at the beginning of the video I'd cleared all of these applications from the multitasking tray, and overall I do much prefer the multitasking tray on the Nexus as opposed to the HTC Sense version. Now, next thing we're going to try, let's go into the browser. Okay, so on Google, and now I'm actually going to search for my website on each of these devices. So I'm just going to write that down. There's my website right over there. Let's do the same right over here. There's my website right there. We'll do the same on the Nexus, which I'd say does have a nicer keyboard because I'm typing faster on that. And let's just... It's got a fantastic swipe capability as well, and I just did a space there. Okay, now I'm going to try my best to actually get all these at the same time. It's not easy, as you can see. Now, let's... 1, 2, 3, go. And I didn't do that right on there. I think I must have typed the website just wrong. Never mind, let's try again. Let's try getting all these three. Now I'm going to bring these closer as I get to do this correctly. And I just got off the Nexus one. What's going on with the one? Did I just press home or something? I'm very bad at this right now, but it's not easy to do with all three mobile phones right here. And as you can see, they all load up pretty much at the same time. And as you can see, web browsing experience on the Nexus 4 is really quite fluid. On the One Mini and the One, very fluid as well. Now let's try pinching to zoom in. As you can see, pinch to zoom is instant when you're doing it. I'm able to zoom into this kind of text, and HTC, what they actually do in their browsers, it reflows the text. The Google Chrome browser doesn't do that. But as you can see, there is an issue right here. When I'm actually zooming into the text, it's like I'm not being able to zoom in too much. With these, I can just, very sensitive, I can zoom into a whole load of the page right here. Whereas this, it's like just, I have to stretch my fingers all the way, and I'm still not zooming in as much. So that's one of the sort of like issues I've noticed with the Nexus 4. Now, let's zoom all the way out right here, and let's zoom in onto this photo right here, just to do a comparison test on the screen quality. Now, all the brightnesses on these phones are at their max, as you can see right there. The brightness there is max, brightness here is max. On the Nexus 4, it is also max, take my word for it. And as you can see, the color is really quite a bit warm on the Nexus 4. It's yellow. It's like got a bit of more of a yellow tint than the One Mini actually did, and I actually criticized the One Mini for having quite a bit of a yellow tint. Out of the three, it's obvious that the 1080p screen is going to be the clearest out of them all, but also I just thought I'd compare these two, and even this quite yellow kind of screen I thought was had a bit of a yellow tint. This has a bit even more of a yellow tint. That being said, it's a very nice experience. Hardly no checkerboarding whatsoever on using all these browsers, and you'll really get a really nice experience with this browser. But this is really, in terms of this pinch to zoom problem I had, is really down to the Google Chrome web browser. I should say it should not have been taken out of beta still, and needs a lot of work done, but it's getting there. Overall, these web browsers are great, and they're all very, very fast. Let me just try pressing this link right there, and that's not what I intended right there. Let's zoom in right here onto this link right here of the PlayStation Vita, and now I'm going to try my best. Let's just press buy from Amazon. It's a bigger link to click on. They're opening up new tabs, whereas on here it just does it straight away, and the Nexus 4 got to it first. Now, the last thing we're going to check out is gaming performance, so let's go in here and let's see if I can, although I don't see how I can. Let me just drag this to the home screen. And now let's see if I can fare better. Okay, so 1.5 GHz quad-core processor, 1.4 GHz dual-core processor, and 1.7 GHz quad-core processor. Let's see which ones actually play the game fast, the fastest. So I'm going to bring these right over here. And now you'll know I actually compared these two before, and the One Mini surprisingly was faster in terms of doing smoother gameplay. Now let's again test the One, which has the highest processor out of all of these phones. And there is quite a bit of stuttering again in the gameplay. It's playable, but it's not like the 60 frames per second experience you should be getting on this kind of game. And this game is just messed up, so you know, it's like very interesting just to test this kind of game, see what devices it runs on. So it's decent on the One, but now let's go to the One Mini. As you can see, very smooth, hardly any dropped frames, and it's very smooth. Now let's go over to the Nexus 4, and let's see what this one's like, because so far this game's been running the best only on dual-core processors as opposed to quad-core processors, so that sort of gives you the idea that it's not well optimized for quad-core devices. So, what's this? Let's increase the volume. This is running smooth, and this is a quad-core device. Come on, GameLoft, seriously, make up your minds. What devices do you want this to support? As you see, it's very smooth on the Nexus 4. That is very, very strange. That is, like, really smooth on the Nexus 4. As you can see, no lag. I'm moving the camera around, no lag. So, again, very strange. This is one of the strangest games I've ever had to use or test. But as you can see, the One Mini is really quite lagging, and say if I wanted to do stuff like that, you can see it's lagging in comparison. So that's the Amazing Spider-Man on all these devices, and it's very strange whenever I have to test these Spider-Man on any mobile phone. And it's become quite a popular game for me to test. Many people always like it when I test this game out, and I don't know, it's very, very awkward and very strange how it does that. But there you go, guys. That was my test of comparing these three devices. Overall, the HTC One, as is why I put in the middle, is the superior out of these two. Now, you obviously expect that. The screen's always better. This just came out this year, and this is a more budget version, whereas this came out last year. But if you're on the market for these three kind of devices, although this is going to be getting a kind of refresh soon, but it has got a really cool significant price drop, which might make you want to go and pick one of these up. I do think that they're all very, very great, very, very smooth devices, as really are the only ones I can really compare with the Nexus 4, as the Nexus 4 is a very, very silky smooth experience, and I'm getting the exact same kind of experience on these two devices, as they really are very smooth as well. As you can see, as I just scroll between the pages and everything, and just navigating around the operating system on both of these is equally as smooth. I'm not going to say that the Nexus is the smoothest, as this, like, it is very, very smooth, but this HTC One, the One Mini, really are also incredibly smooth in terms of their operation and their function. So, thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Eric from ecotma12.blogspot.com. Please thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned to my future videos, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Take care.